In the year 2017, Equifax experienced one of the world's worst data breaches in history. Over 147 million people, 147 million people had their personal data exposed, names, phone numbers, social security number, and so on. The shocking part, this could have been protected, or at least the damage reduced, if proper tokenization was in place. So this particular incident is the real inspiration for me to build this serverless pipeline to protect serverless data in real time using AWS Lambda. Hi, my name is Harsha Matan. I work as a principal data engineer. And in this short video, I'll show you the architecture that I've built to securely identify the PII data. So this is the architecture. So basically this architecture works around the heart of this architecture is AWS Lambda, and the integration happens with S3. There are triggers, and I also introduced Amazon Bedrock to identify the PI data in whatever the file that we place. So as a first step, we upload a raw file into this particular S3 bucket, and automatically the trigger would be generated, which would go to a Lambda. So I have three different Lambdas created for this particular project: tokenizer Lambda, PII detector Lambda, and detokenizer Lambda. So the moment the file is placed over here, the detector Lambda would automatically get triggered, and within this we have base 64 encoding. That is the essence of this entire project, and it would easily identify the list of PI columns in it, and those PI columns will be stored as a CSV file or a JSON file in another S3 bucket called as metadata. And the moment the PI columns identified, another triggered would triggered be automatically, and the next tokenizer Lambda would be triggered. And in this tokenizer Lambda, whatever the file that we place, I'll give a quick demo. The sensitive fields will be identified in that particular CSV, and the entire columns, whatever the each and every record for that particular CSV would be tokenized. And I've also introduced a detokenizer Lambda. This is pretty interesting stuff, because few organizations, they really wanted to know in terms of any analysis or something, if they wanted to see what is the real data in it, we can detokenize it, in the sense we can go back to its original format and have the data. But still, I have introduced data masking, which means even in the event if that particular database or the table is exposed or compromised, there would be no harm. Now let's quickly jump into uh, this particular stuff. How my CSV file looks like. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields, 5 columns: name, email, phone number, date of birth, and transaction ID. I just upload this particular CSV file, and everything will be orchestrated automatically. Let's look into it in action. So this is my raw folder. I upload this particular CSV file, and the moment I upload this, you should be able to see a few things happening over here. Now, as you can see, there are only two folders over here, the metadata and the raw folder. But let's refresh. The end-to-end process is completed by now. Now let's look into the metadata folder. What's here? So in this metadata folder, the idea is uh, Amazon Bedrock would eventually identify what are the sensitive fields. So it has identified name is a PA column, probably yes, email, phone number, yes, and now going back to the architecture, we have completed this layer, and the files are placed in the metadata layer, and subsequently we have the tokenizer, the detokenizer, and data masking that is coming into play. Now going back to this, let's look into the tokenized data. If I look into the tokenized data, we should be able to see how the tokenized data would be looking like. So as you can see, the values are full in gibberish. We don't know what it is, apart from the last two things, because they are not identified as PI columns. And finally, if I want to go back to the detokenized folder, where I can see the detokenized values in and all by the data being masked eventually. So here you go. So now we have this detokenized for file, where this is the original file. As you can see, I'm just doing a comparison over here. The original file has been completely masked, and it is placed in a detokenized format. And this is one of the fantastic use cases which every organizations can follow, which would definitely help them in the event of any data breaches. And yeah, Lambda is a very fantastic, is such a fantastic tool to do this in a large scale as well. In this, it is a pretty small scale. We just did everything using base 64 encoding, but this can also be used in an enterprise level by using various third-party tools. But yeah, as a first step, we can start with this, and as we progress, the organizations can adapt to various third-party tools as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.